He didn't fall into the black hole. He stepped toward it. At this point, everything was normal. The sky still trusted him. The planet still slept. Every crisis ended the same way. A blur, a promise kept, and a world that believed Superman would always hold back. Until space itself tore open. A research station vanished near the event horizon. Not exploded, not destroyed, folded. Signals stretched into screams that never ended. Time slowed around the wound in reality, dragging satellites and hope with it. The calculations were clear enough to scare even the calmest minds. If the core destabilized, gravity would cascade. Cities wouldn't burn. They would fall inward. And then, he made a decision no hero should ever make. He didn't ask for a plan. He didn't wait for consensus. He didn't call for backup. He listened to the math. And the math said only one mass could counter another. Only one body could cross the line and push back. So he stopped holding back. He anchored himself against the pull and flew straight into the dark. The light bent around him. Stars smeared into lines. Sound died first. Then distance. Then meaning. He felt gravity not as force, but as command. It worked, for a moment. The core stabilized. The station's remains stopped stretching. Earth's orbit steadied. On the screens back home, the numbers turned green. People breathed again. But something else happened. Inside the black hole, time did not forgive. It negotiated. Every second he stayed, minutes passed outside. Every push he made required more strength than the last. His cells burned faster than sunlight could replenish. Not pain, pressure. Endless. Total. He adjusted, increased output, ignored the cost. It worked. For a moment. The gravity well shrank further. The cascade slowed. But the black hole learned. It always does. It began feeding on resistance, converting effort into hunger. The more he fought, the more it pulled. Outside, alarms returned. Not red. Worse. White. Energy readings spiked in impossible directions. The core wasn't collapsing anymore. It was growing. He realized the truth too late. This wasn't a force to overpower. It was a balance to respect. And he had tipped it. Still, he stayed. He remembered every time he chose restraint. Every city saved by not going all out. Every enemy spared because power without control becomes fear. This time was different. This time, control meant commitment. So he crossed the horizon. The universe peeled open. Inside, physics unraveled into suggestion. Gravity stacked in layers. Time looped back on itself, whispering futures that never happened. He saw flashes. A world without him. A world shaped by his absence. A world that learned to survive without a symbol. His strength didn't vanish. It changed. The black hole compressed him past muscle, past bone, past energy, past identity. He wasn't being crushed. He was being defined. Outside, the numbers stabilized again. The core locked. The danger passed. Cheers erupted. News anchors called it impossible, a miracle. Minutes turned into hours. No signal returned. Hope stretched thin. Then, a pulse. Not light, not sound, and a ripple. Every gravity sensor on Earth spiked at once. The black hole didn't expand. It answered. He pushed one last time, not with strength, with will, with everything he believed a hero was meant to be. The idea that saving the world was worth any price. even becoming part of the problem. The horizon trembled, space screamed, and something inside the darkness looked back. It wasn't empty anymore. The pressure shifted, not stronger, smarter. The pull adjusted around him, not to crush, but to contain. The black hole wasn't resisting. It was adapting. He felt it then, a rhythm, slow, patient, like a heart discovering it could beat. This wasn't a misunderstanding anymore. This was intention. Inside the core, gravity curved around a single constant, him. His mass, his will, his refusal to let go. The equations rewrote themselves with Superman as a variable. Outside, Earth felt it first. Tides shifted without warning. Satellites drifted off path. The moon stuttered in its orbit like it had forgotten the rules. Not catastrophic. Not yet. Just wrong. Every victory cost something. Scientists realized the truth no one wanted to say out loud. The core wasn't stabilized by force. It was stabilized by presence. Remove him, and the balance would collapse. Leave him, and the universe would never be the same. Saving the world was no longer the goal. Containing him was. Inside, time fractured further. Moments repeated. Decisions echoed before he made them. He felt memories forming that didn't belong to him. Not his childhood, not Earth, not hope. The black hole was learning through him, learning what endurance felt like, learning what sacrifice meant, learning that power could choose to stay. He tried to pull back. The gravity refused, not violently, gently, like hands closing around something precious. Outside, heroes gathered in silence. No speeches, no arguments, just the unbearable understanding that the symbol they followed had become an anchor pinning reality in place. A solution formed. Not a weapon, a choice. If he let go, everything would end. If they severed the link, everything would end. Unless someone replaced him, no one could. That was the cruel symmetry. He wasn't trapped because he was reckless. He was trapped because he was irreplaceable. Inside the core, he felt the decision being made without him. The gravitational rhythm faltered. A counter-frequency built. Not to destroy, to disconnect. He understood. And for the first time since stepping into the dark, he was afraid. Not of dying, of succeeding. The pulse came. A controlled rupture, clean, precise. The universe peeled him away from the constant he'd become. For a fraction of a second, gravity screamed as its favorite variable vanished. The black hole collapsed inward, not exploding, shrinking, starving. The threat neutralized. Earth survived. He didn't come back whole. What emerged wasn't falling, it was released. A body carried by momentum that no longer belonged to space or time. He hit the upper atmosphere like a myth being forgotten. He lived, barely, but something fundamental was gone. Not strength, not breath. Connection. He could still hear the planet, but it no longer heard him. Gravity treated him like any other mass now. No exception, no deference. The world survived, the hero did not. They never sent him back to the sky. He didn't argue. He knew what he'd become when he chose not to let go. A solution that almost learned to stay. Some nights, instruments still spike, just a little, as if the universe remembers the shape he once held. And somewhere beyond the dark, something does too. If this is where stories like this live, make sure you subscribe to Genesis Vault, because some timelines aren't meant to be forgotten.